Welcome to Coffee and Popcorn, where we bring you the most striking stories from around the world. We have 5 relationship stories to share with you from the world of Reddit, and some of them get pretty messy. In one of the stories, there's a guy who fakes his own death to manipulate one of the women he was seeing. If you're ready to find out how each and every one of these stories ends, get yourself a coffee and grab a bowl of popcorn so we can get into it.
I'm a 27-year-old woman, and overnight, I had to make the difficult choice to end my engagement. A few weeks back, I found out that my fiancé lied about having a 4-year degree. We had our issues, and I noticed that he hadn't brought up about us role-playing in about a year, and he didn't like it when I asked him about why he masturbates several times a day. I didn't hide the fact that his role-play fantasy, where I'm supposed to be dominant, made me feel uncomfortable. We were having very vanilla sex, and he didn't do anything to pleasure me and no longer brought up the things he wanted to try. Last night specifically, I saw on his phone that he was Snapchat best friends with an online ex. I recognized her name. I took a quick video of their friendship on Snapchat and got her username from there. She told me that her conditions to engage in sexual role play with someone are for them to be single or have their partner's permission. My fiancé told her that he was single and she would ask why he hadn't found someone. I talked to the woman over text for a while, and then I decided to call. 78 minutes later, I found out about other unspeakable lies. He cheated on me with a woman online, someone who lives overseas, and this was going on for years. They met on an adult website during the pandemic. Several times a day, he was hitting up this woman who cares for him, and he was taking advantage of her. He emotionally abused her, demanded to roleplay, and even faked his own self-deletion. He also said that his mom passed away, and he also faked doing military service. They never met in person and had known each other for about a year before I met my fiancé. She roleplayed on Snapchat with a few guys, but he was different to her. She said they had a trauma bond. He used the threat of a gun to the head in a photo he sent her, and he also texted her from his phone, pretending to be his family after his death. He admitted to using OnlyFans and NSFW Reddit to get photos of women. Apparently, he thought this was okay, given my view of porn being okay, but I also said don't pay for it. Officially, we were together for just over 2 years, and we talked so much about starting a family. I struggled to be accepted by his religious family, and he never posted me on social media. We spent 20 hours a week together for most of our relationship. Based on time zones and math, it seems like he hit her up a lot during his lunch breaks. She explained that they talked about marriage, moving countries, and how she can't have children. What do you guys think?
This story just got crazier as it went on. By the end of it, I was like, who is this guy? From the sound of things, calling off the engagement was the right thing for OP. Hopefully, she'll be able to move on to someone who'll show her respect, someone who'll be open and honest with her. Unfortunately, the world of social media has made everyone accessible, so at any time, someone from outside your relationship can infiltrate it. Since OP has already made a break for it, there's not much else to say, but good luck for the future.
I've been really going through it a lot lately, and would appreciate some advice. I'm a 22-year-old female, my boyfriend is 23, and we were each other's first serious relationship. I wish I could say he was an awful boyfriend, but he was the loveliest person I've ever been with. He was always very gentle, kind with me, and always went above and beyond. He would always talk about a future with me, and honestly, I would have married him. Throughout our relationship, I knew he suffered from confidence issues and lacked self-esteem. He consistently made negative remarks about himself. I think he just didn't think he was attractive. I think he's always carried unresolved stuff from his childhood and was bullied for quite a long time, all the way into high school. 2 months ago, we broke up because he confessed that he downloaded Hinge for a week. He used it to talk to girls and says it was nothing sexual, just normal conversation. He confessed this around 3 months later, after I saw the Hinge verification notification in his phone. He's very introverted and shy, so to be honest, I believe this. He said he did it for validation. I guess he wanted to know other people found him attractive. A few days after this, he really opened up. He knows that he messed up, so there really wasn't any fighting it. In the end, we broke up, and that was that. We've been basically no contact for 2 months, other than him wishing me good luck on my exam, and me talking about how it went. I appreciated his words because it was super stressful. I know that nothing justifies what he did, but in the back of my head, I want him to stay true to his word on going to therapy and addressing his need for validation. I might want to revisit us in a year. Am I crazy? We had a very strong connection, and honestly, being single, it's easy to have casual fun, but that's not what I want. It's so hard to find someone who wants a serious relationship.
Even though OP didn't go into what her ex did on the dating app, downloading that app and using it was a breach of trust. I wouldn't really call it a confession if he only admitted to it after you already caught him. If OP didn't catch him in the act, would she have ever found out about what her partner was doing? OP is right that finding a trustworthy partner these days is tough. It seems like at every turn there's something trying to tear your relationship apart. Still, I'm sure if OP keeps looking, she'll eventually find what she's looking for. Let's take a trip to the comments section.
Odessa Godone says, "You are handling this situation fairly well. It's good that you want him to find the roots of his insecurities and seek professional help. It's sad when a nice relationship ends. It's always hard to start a new relationship, when the most convenient places to find people of your age are full of creeps and users. Right now, it's Hinge and other dating apps. In the 2010s, it was social media and clubs. In the 2000s, it was raves and church groups. In the 90s, it was emo clubs and raves, and in the 80s, it was dance clubs and discos. None of them worked perfectly, except in a few cases. You seem to have a good perspective and a moderately upbeat personality. Good people are attracted to that. Just keep being yourself. Enjoy the education you've gained and find the most satisfying work you can imagine. Excel where you can. Enjoy learning. All of these are attractive personality traits. There is someone out there who is confident, accomplished, and attractive to you. Date, but keep your eyes open. Partnering is a marathon, not a sprint. Knowing where the finish line is can be your best tool for happiness. You'll be fine."
I think that these are some fair and inspiring words. OP does seem to have a good head on her shoulders, knows what she wants, and is not even resentful for what her ex-boyfriend did. Hopefully, this experience won't taint her view of relationships as she moves forward into the future.
Am I wrong for trying to tell my so-called best friend's partner that she's been cheating on him? I don't consider her as a best friend, just a friend, because this girl only wants to talk to me when she needs to dump her issues on me, which I can't do to her because she likes ghosting people. Recently, she told me about her former mutual understanding partner, who supposedly just returned from another country. Let's call him Mac. This guy is her mutual understanding partner. Even though she already has a partner and they have 2 children together, with one of them being a baby. Last Wednesday, she left their house and stayed at her sibling's place. And the next day, she told me she was on a staycation with Mac. She also said that she broke up with her partner, the father of her children, and that she left the children with him. It's surprising how she found a way to be with the other guy, while her now ex-partner wonders why she suddenly ended the relationship, even though they didn't have any problems. Additionally, she portrayed her ex in a negative light to her family, making it seem like he was the reason she left their relationship. Her ex started asking me questions about her whereabouts, and I felt guilty because he was pleading with me. I attempted to tell him the truth, but I didn't explicitly mention that she was involved with someone else. My so-called best friend found out about it and got angry, asking why I betrayed her. Was I wrong in that situation?
While OP didn't explicitly say that her ex-best friend cheated, judging from how quickly things moved with Mac, there's a good chance that they were seeing each other before OP's friend ended her relationship. While I'm not in favor of that sort of behavior, at least OP's friend left the relationship instead of sneaking behind her partner's back for months or even years in some cases. I do feel bad for the partner though, because it must have been confusing when she up and left without an explanation. Anyhow, let's have a quick look at the comments section to see what everybody else has to say.
Alarmed Radio says, "No slack for cheaters. If they want to cheat, they don't care about losing them. You are doing the right thing. This hits me hard considering that I am currently in this situation with my best friend of 5 years and my girlfriend." Agitated Ad says, "How long have you been helping her keep her cheating a secret from her partner? That is why she sees it as a betrayal, because you helped her hide it for so long. Does your boyfriend know about the situation? I would be surprised if he can even trust you, seeing how comfortable you are with cheating."
The last comment raises a fair point. How long was this affair going on for, and did OP know about it the whole time? I also think that it's easy for people to come online and talk about what they would do, but I wonder if they'd have that same energy if they actually found themselves in a situation like this. If OP and the cheating girl were really close, and OP wasn't very close with her partner, maybe it wouldn't be so easy to just come out and say something. In this case, maybe it would be better to make the friend come clean to her partner, or be open with her about letting him know if she doesn't tell him about what's going on.
Back in 2018, a girl I graduated from high school with was working at a grocery store and cashed me out. I hadn't seen her in about 5 years, and later that day she sent me a message on Instagram saying that she thought I was handsome and wanted to hang out. We went on 2 dates, and over the next few weeks, everything seemed to be going well. I was single, and nothing on her Instagram indicated that she had a boyfriend. In fact, it looked like she'd been single for a long time. After our 3rd date, she invited me over to her place, and we slept together. I wake up the next morning, and we sleep together again. Because she normally walked to work, I dropped her off. After that, I went home, got cleaned up myself, and then went to work. Later that afternoon, she messaged me about how amazing I am and how much she enjoyed me staying the night. I was excited, but moments later, I opened Instagram and she had just uploaded a picture of her kissing another man saying, "I love my boyfriend." I couldn't believe it, so I confronted her and then she blocked me. Years later, I find out they're now married. Fellas, good luck out there.
I think people who sleep with those who already have partners turn out to be the biggest skeptics when it comes to relationships. I say this because they get to see things from the other side. They get to see how the cheating spouse behaves when they're with their partner. In this case, seeing the girl talk about how much she loved her boyfriend on social media was meaningless because she was still sneaking around behind his back. After seeing that, I imagine OP will have reservations about his own relationships in future, as will anyone else who's been through something similar. Let's dive into the comments for a minute.
Thawing Talon says, "These people are the worst of the worst. You should have taken the evidence to the guy, or if you still have it, do it now." Moffat Us Prime says, "This was my life in my 20s. I never looked for it, but I consistently hooked up with women like this, only to find out they had a boyfriend or fiancé. I always found out after the fact."
Unfortunately, the truth is, most cheaters don't get caught. From a recent stat that I saw, the number could be as high as 90%. This might sound like a lot, but as I've mentioned before, if you've ever worked in an office, you've probably been a witness to many affairs that never get discovered by the spouse.
So, for context, a year ago I found text messages on Instagram and Facebook after I got a tip from a woman. She told me that my wife exchanged numbers with her boyfriend, and they were texting each other until 3:30 in the morning. The woman told me that she woke up and saw her boyfriend texting my wife. She even gave me a few receipts. Nothing major, though. Still, I went ahead and logged into my wife's social media accounts. It wasn't hard to do this because she has all her passwords written down in a book. Anyway, what I found almost made me throw up. I've taken about 70 or 80 screenshots of the text messages and confronted her about it. After everything that went down, I decided to give her a second chance, and I thought we moved past all of it. Things were good. So, let's fast forward a little bit. I wake up while my wife's in the shower and our kids are watching cartoons. I go to use the restroom and her phone's on the railing, sitting on top of a towel. Her alarm starts to go off, so I go to grab her phone to turn it off. As soon as I go to hit the snooze button, a text message comes through and my thumb hits it. The message opens to him saying something along the lines of, "I love the night we had the other night." I know the exact night he was talking about, because it's the night my wife said she was out doing laundry. There was no way I was going to put up with this again, so I threw her out. I've tried to be civil around the kids, but last night, she came over to fill out the divorce papers. She was argumentative from the moment she got here. I saw her get out of her car, texting someone, and not even 10 minutes after she got here, 2 police officers showed up for a domestic dispute. Somebody had called it in, and I suspect that my wife was messaging a friend that lived down the road. I think she was trying to start an argument so that I would look like the bad guy. I sent her a text message this morning to let her know that she's no longer welcome at my home unless I know she's coming. Previously, I was letting her come and go whenever she wanted to make the removal of her stuff easier. But what should I do now?
In a situation like this, there's not much that OP can do besides trying to be as civil as possible. You don't want to add any fuel to the fire, so the less you can engage with her, the better. It's such a shame that 12 years of marriage has just gone down the drain like that, and I suspect it will be for nothing. A big part of me does think that once you catch someone cheating, you should cut your losses there and then. While this is not a solution for every couple, Dealing with an unfaithful partner is a very hard thing to come back from. Unfortunately, there weren't any useful comments for this story though, so I'm not going to waste your time. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.